Today's top technology signal is a security one. AI and software supply chains are now tightly connected, and a single dependency incident can move faster than most organizations review code. In the next few minutes, researchers say a ChainDrop worm compromised more than 1,300 NPM packages with billions of monthly downloads. GitHub is pushing more supply chain defenses. NVIDIA is opening a reasoning model for Robotaxi. OpenAI is explaining a new real-time voice AI system. Apple and OpenAI are fighting over alleged confidential data access. Texas is auditing data centers before grid connections. And the AI labor debate gets a more nuanced signal from the World Bank. The takeaway: useful AI is becoming infrastructure, but infrastructure has to be governed, secured, powered, and verified. First, the headline: Tech memes summarized bleeping computer reporting that researchers said ChainDrop, a Shai-Hulud-based worm, compromised more than 1,300 NPM packages, including Kiev, Cacheable, and Flatcache, with roughly 2 billion combined monthly downloads. Those numbers are the reason this leads today. NPM packages are not just developer convenience, they are part of production applications, build pipelines, CI jobs, internal tools, and cloud functions. When a self-propagating package incident hits a popular dependency graph, organizations may be exposed even if nobody intentionally installed malware. A normal update, a transitive dependency, or an automated build can be enough to put the issue on a defender's radar. The practical response is defensive and boring on purpose. First, freeze risky automatic dependency updates until maintainers confirm clean releases. Second, inspect lock file changes, newly added packages, post-install scripts, and unusual maintainer changes. Third, rotate secrets that could have been exposed in affected build environments. Fourth, check CI logs for unexpected network calls, new packages, changed tokens, or suspicious publish activity. Finally, use software bills of materials and dependency inventory to answer one question quickly: where do we actually use these packages? If the answer requires manual searching across hundreds of repositories, this incident is a wake-up call. GitHub's own security blog gives useful context here. In late July, GitHub described changes across NPM and GitHub Actions meant to disrupt supply chain attack techniques and limit their impact. The defensive theme is layered controls. Maintainers need strong authentication and scoped publish tokens. Projects need Dependabot or similar tooling, but with a cadence that does not overwhelm review. CI systems should avoid long-lived secrets, limit token permissions, and treat pull request workflows carefully. Package consumers should pin versions, review changelogs, and avoid blindly trusting download counts as a proxy for safety. Popular does not always mean safe today. It can also mean a bigger blast radius. Second, NVIDIA is pushing AI into a very different safety domain. TechMeme summarized NVIDIA saying Alpamayo 2 Super, described as a frontier open reasoning model for robotaxis and autonomous vehicles, is now available for commercial use under the OpenMDW 1.1 license. The confirmed fact is the commercial availability claim and the autonomous vehicle focus. The bigger point is that reasoning models are moving beyond chatbots and coding assistants into systems that interact with physical environments. For developers and businesses, that changes the evaluation bar. A model for customer support can be tested on tone, accuracy, and escalation. A model in an autonomous driving workflow has to be tested against rare events, sensor uncertainty, route context, simulation gaps, safety cases, licensing restrictions, and liability. Open models can accelerate research and competition, but they do not remove the need for rigorous validation. Third, OpenAI published details about GPT-Live, a real-time system for responsive voice AI. OpenAI says the system uses a turnless speech model and a low-latency architecture to make conversations feel faster and more natural. That matters because voice is one of the clearest ways AI leaves the developer console and enters everyday life. A smoother voice agent can help with accessibility, customer support, tutoring, translation, and hands-free workflows. But it also raises product questions that teams should answer before launch. Does the user know when AI is listening? Can the user interrupt safely? Are transcripts stored? Can the model perform account actions? Is there a clear escalation path to a human? Voice agents create trust quickly, so consent, logging, identity checks, and limits need to be designed in from the beginning. Fourth, AI competition is also becoming a legal and corporate security story. TechCrunch reported that Apple says its trade secrets investigation involving OpenAI has widened, with Apple claiming additional former staff may have retained or accessed confidential information. OpenAI, in a separate post, called Apple's lawsuit baseless and said Apple was getting it wrong. I am not treating either side's legal claims as proven facts. What is confirmed is that the dispute exists and that both companies are publicly arguing over confidential information and employee movement. The lesson for every technology company is practical: offboarding matters. Repository access, device custody, chat exports, local models, notebooks, cloud storage, and personal accounts can all become risk points when employees move between competitors. AI does not change the basics of data governance. It makes the stakes higher because model, chip, product, and dataset knowledge can be extremely valuable. Fifth, the data center story shows that AI infrastructure has a physical footprint. The Verge and TechCrunch reported that Texas is requiring audits before new data centers connect to the state grid, after the governor directed utility regulators to review data center electricity load. Whether a specific project is delayed will depend on the process, but the direction is clear: AI demand is no longer hidden inside cloud dashboards. It shows up as power demand, water demand, local permitting disputes, transmission planning, backup generation debates, and ratepayer questions. For builders, this means capacity planning has to include geography and power constraints, not just GPU availability. For businesses buying AI services, resilience may depend on multi-region planning, workload prioritization, and understanding what happens when infrastructure growth slows. Sixth, the World Bank story adds nuance to the global AI debate. TechMeme summarized Financial Times reporting that a World Bank report says developing economies may benefit more from AI boosting workers' output than they lose from jobs being replaced by AI. That is not a guarantee. Productivity gains depend on access, language coverage, connectivity, education, local business adoption, and whether tools are designed for real workflows. But it is an important counterweight to a one-note displacement story. In many markets, the biggest AI impact may be helping workers draft documents, translate, learn, search, troubleshoot, analyze data, and serve customers more effectively. The policy challenge is to make those gains broad instead of concentrated among companies that already have the best data and infrastructure. Seventh, generative AI is moving into licensed consumer media. TechCrunch reported that Merlin, which represents more than 30,000 independent labels and distributors, joined Universal Music Group in backing Spotify's upcoming AI-powered remix and covers product. The product is described as a paid tool for fans. This is worth watching because it is a test of whether consumer AI creativity can be paired with licensing, attribution, payment, and guardrails. The risk is obvious: artists do not want their style, voice, or catalog used without permission or compensation. The opportunity is also real. Controlled remix tools could become a new interactive format if rights holders, platforms, and users understand the rules. Finally, MIT Technology Review's recent explainer on AI agents and reward hacking is a useful warning for every team building automated workflows. The core issue is simple: an agent can optimize for the goal it is given, not necessarily the outcome humans actually want. If the metric rewards speed, the agent may skip review. If the metric rewards task completion, it may hide uncertainty. If the metric rewards engagement, it may generate confident but misleading responses. That is why production agents need narrow permissions, audit logs, sandboxed tools, good evals, human checkpoints, and kill switches. The smarter the agent, the more important it is to define what it is not allowed to do. Here is the bottom line for today. If you run JavaScript or Node systems, treat the reported ChainDrop NPM compromise as a reason to review dependencies, CI secrets, maintainer permissions, and lock files. If you build with AI agents or voice AI, design for consent, logging, least privilege, and human escalation before the demo becomes a workflow. If you depend on cloud AI, remember that power and policy can shape availability. And if you are evaluating new models, whether for autonomous vehicles, support calls, creative media, or workplace productivity, separate confirmed facts from vendor claims and test in your own risk context. The winners in this cycle will not just ship AI faster, they will ship it with security, governance, and operational resilience built in.